Okay, get back on our bike here. Got a lot of loose ends that I get figured out. I beat the motor mount back square again, so it's all pushed back in. I used a big punch and a big hammer. So right now I'm getting ready to do the motor mount. So here's your stock motor mount with a choke on it. I put a little lubricant on the pin here so it rotates a little easier. And this has to go up in here. Let's see what kind of space we need back in here to put the motor mount on it. See a little better. And figure what we're going to do to make this work. I like putting washers under here, so it looks like there's room to go up a little bit. So it looks like we're hitting right here, but we're not. Got a big gap down here, so things aren't square to each other. So leave this motor mount bracket to bend a little bit, which is possible because somebody was working on it. Or something else is not square, like this is not square, which is always possible too. Looks like it might be off a little bit on its own. You can see how it's been hitting up here a lot more than I was doing it, so looks like that's been a recurring problem hitting there. Alright, so if I bend this over a little bit here, if it'll bend, it wouldn't hurt. Okay, some washers under here. Here's a stock motor mount bolt that came out of this. I don't know if I'm going to reuse that or not. Here's some nice thick washers of mine. There's some skinnier ones. There's some of his. Clamps we're not using. One of those. Here's the other skinny one of these. Of course, we're getting interrupted already again. Hello. Yes. I'll be down sometime tomorrow. Yeah, figure after 3 o'clock. Okay. All right. Okay, bye. All right, let's see. So we put a thin washer right here to move it up a little bit and protect the head from the motor mount being loose. That keeps it still good right here, so we're not a problem there. It's going to be a little tight getting a bolt in there, but as long as this bolt will clear, we're good. Okay, the other problem is we got to bend this frame over a little bit to make it more square, or I got to bend this bracket to be square. One of these have to be the same when we're done. That's all that matters. So I'll take this back out. We'll get ourselves a nice big hammer and beat the tar out of that. So we need something to hit with. I'm thinking something like this here is pretty good. And I'm thinking something a little bit bigger would be better. How about this one right here? This one looks better. More contact. I got to bend the whole thing over, not just the base. So let's see. I'll put that over there. Tripod over here. I'll go over there and grab my little body hammer over there on the wall. We'll use that to make the precision adjustments we need. They're going to be very precision. Make everybody happy. This looks like a better punch. Yeah, a lot better punch. A little bigger diameter. More contact. One body hammer. Hold that flat. Oops. Think it moved? It might have moved, but didn't move enough. So you got two heavy things to equalize the weights. See, you got a 20-pound hammer and a 20-pound chunk of aluminum or steel to hold it with. There we go. You want to hold that flat against the frame. Give it a little love tap. One more just to make sure I hit it in the right spot. Okay. Doesn't appear to be moving too much, so we need to work on this then. So we're going to have to bend this here a little bit. So we're going to do a little love tapping over here. If one thing don't work, do something else. So I got to move my workbench now. Workbench is getting moved. Everything around here is heavy for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, give yourself a little bit of gap on the back side, so you got room to move. Okay. Gives it a little something to hold it with. A little smaller punch to use for this job. We can use the same hammer though. That keeps this nice and flat by doing it that way. Now we check to see how close we are over here. So, hopefully this will fit in a little tighter. Still got a gap in there. Give it a little bit more. Now if you bend the part right now, it doesn't break under use. If you have tension on this thing, so if you tighten this down and bend it to fit the frame, something's going to break. It's either going to break through here or break through here, because you're going to be under tension strain all the time when it vibrates, and it'll break it. If you bend it, it takes a permanent set. When you tighten it down, it stays that way. It doesn't break. You don't have any tension on it. So you always want to pre-bend this stuff. Get it bent over. That way you know it's good to go. Tension on it this time. See if that's better this time. It's going in easier, that's a good sign. Still got a gap in there, I think. Go over there and take a look. Oh yeah, still got a good gap on there. So you can see the gap on the bottom. Still nothing on top. It's not bending very easily. Starting to go together a little easier, but it's still tight on the top up there. Alright, so you're going to bend it some more. Right now we're not making much headway over here. So, have to bend it someplace else, I guess. I'm trying to bend it right here in this part, but maybe hit a little bit higher up and it'll bend the whole thing over. Okay. 15 tons of pressure to hold it. Doesn't seem to be moving. Give it some more distance. Something's going to my bending power. I'm starting to see a little bit of something going on now. I think the problem is I'm hitting the side of the bar every time I hit it, so it doesn't do anything. Makes me feel better though. I'm working harder. Still hitting. Okay. Let's see. What are we going to do here? It's not working doing this, so I can't keep it flat where I need to and still bend it. So that means we got to do some twisting on these brackets right here. Will do the same effect. The problem is trying to keep it equal is hard. You want to kind of see where we're at. We need to be equal. So you take a 6-inch scale and you lay it up in there and look at the angle you're at. That one's not quite square. And that one's a little bit past square. So this one needs to be bent a lot more. Oop, bent that time. Alright, they're getting pretty close to equal, I think. So you can see where it's twisting right through here, where the paint's cracking. See, there's a bend mark, see? So now we got a twist in it. should be relatively flat though. That's what we're looking for, is flatness. That definitely made a difference. So now you got a washer back in there. Might went a little bit too much maybe. So you look at how high that goes when you tighten there. It looks about the same when you torque these two down. Next angle you want to make is the angle this way is the same. So when you torque that down, that one shouldn't go in the air like it is, see? See how it goes in the air? This one here, same thing. See how it goes up just slightly. The back one goes up more. Alright, so you gotta take that information, go over here, and fix that. Figure out where you're at. Maybe just a little bit. Alright, now you go over and check it again. See what we got. Oop. Tripod where it works. When you put pressure on this one, so you still got a little bit of upward movement. This one looks pretty good. So you get a lot of springiness going on there, not much other things. Okay, so now we take our thicker washers here. The thicker ones on top. Here's we don't have any nuts here to use. Okay, I got a couple lock nuts for permanent mount. I got a couple standard nuts for checking purposes. Okay, you tighten that down, see how much of a load you got. See, that's a little bit in the air right there. So I need to go tighten that one. I need to bend that just a little bit more. And that one has about the same amount of give to it, see? Alright, so you go ahead and give those a couple little love taps again over there. So the less stress you take off of this now, the longer it'll stay good without breaking. It also stays tighter longer. Excuse me. Alright. Something a little more force to it. I think most of that's just spring. So this is a stock Harley mount, so it's heat treated. Doesn't like to bend. I think it did bend that time. Felt like something gave. Go back over here. A lot of exercise going back and forth, 3 feet at a time, see? Oops. Forgot the washer. Important to put all the parts in when you check this stuff. Yep, that one appears to be good, see? Down all the way. your gap back there. It's less than this thickness. It appears to be about this thickness. Oops. Now you loosen up this one, tighten up this one. See, that one did go up again. So this one bent, this one didn't. And see if we got the same gap. About the same. So that means both of these are, we have to put the right twist in. So this one has to bend down just slightly more. And I gotta find me a big washer to go on the back side there. That's about this thickness, or maybe just a little bit less. So let's find that too. Okay, so I gotta twist this, I gotta bit this down a little bit. Excuse me. All right. It got worse. The spring back was more than the bend was. It reverberated back up. That means I went in the wrong direction. Yeah. It's a sure sign you need a bigger hammer. Oh, I overbent at that time. Hit it too hard with a different object. Had to bend it back. If it bent back. See what happened. Perfect. Look at that. Double check with this one. It's good too. Gap's about the same with that one. Slightly tighter when you tighten this, so this is just barely off different, but some variation's allowed. Okay, now we gotta find a thin washer to go on the back side in there. So I need a large diameter thin washer. It's only about that thick in there. So let's see what we got in the junk pile over here. So we have a junk pile. It's about the right thing, but the hole's too small. Here's one here, perfect size. Looks a little thick though. Somebody want to know where my sweater was at. Protecting this tank. There's some different washers to play with and use. Ooh, there's a good one. That might be the one. You never know which washer you need, so that's why you keep them all. That one appears to be overbent a little bit. But you can straighten and reuse it. There's another big one. Alright, a pretty good handful. Let's go see which one we got over here might fit. Alright. Start with this one. No. Nope. And you can tell, you put them on the bench here. Kind of feel them. That one's slightly thinner. That one's slightly thinner than that one. That's a lot thicker. And these two are the same. So these are the same. This one's thinner. So we'll try the thin one up here. It's a lot bigger too. I can move it. It's tight in there. I can move it, so that's close enough. Remember, everything moves around a little bit anyway, so. Okay, we'll use that one there. Now you get a bolt to go through here. We just happen to have one of those right down here. So this is the original one. So take this out. I'm not much in these calculated nuts. These usually come loose. Look at the threads, make sure they're not too awful bad. Here's a lock nut. I like lock nuts. Yeah, that might work. These are nice thick washers and they're probably heat treated. It's got a nice big nut on the back side for support. So it's a good thing to reuse. Oh, look at that, it even fits. What a shocker. Okay, there you go. Looks like we got a good combination of parts going. So I'm going to just put some Loctite on this stuff. So as you put red Loctite on these, put blue up here. Because these here, you don't want to pull the stud out of the case. Not the case, out of the head. But up here I use red because it's, on this bolt I use red, these two I use blue. Okay, no more mock-ups. We're going to go ahead and put the real nuts on here. Loctite. So I got some blue. Now this isn't Loctite, this is blue locker. Nobody's told me Loctite's a trademark name yet. All the geniuses haven't caught on. And I gave them a clue to get after me about it. Okay, those go on there like that. Okay, I need to get one more nut for the other side. Okay, got another lock nut for the other side, same as these. We're gonna go. Excuse me. We're gonna go ahead and put some thread locker on the other side. Yeah. Go. Lost my washer. Before I put this all in, I gotta figure out what size what size wrench this is so I can torque it. Preferably not a crescent wrench. Appears to be a 15/16. Dropping everything today. Got a zip gun. Okay. Back over this side. Okay, I'll go ahead and bring these nuts down. Okay, go down until it just touches, no extra. You're going to bring this one down. Now this should not have lifted up over here because we pre-bent this. If I had more time I'd repaint this, but we don't have any time, so it goes together the way it is. Okay, go down until it just touches, no extra. Now I'm going to go ahead and torque this all the way down. And I'm going to come back and torque these. I'm going to use a zip gun to tighten it because I can tighten it quick and easy with a zip gun. Got a wrench right here to hold it. It's pretty tight. So that zip gun will put out 170 foot-pounds of torque, so the nut just kept turning like about this speed here, about like this. Keeps going around. So after you do it about a quarter of a turn, after it's tight, stop. I think you're up into the yield point of the thread, so you're probably pretty tight. Okay, now we go ahead and torque these down. Okay, you can put torque wrench on there if you want. Somebody stole my torque wrench. I'll use this one right here. You hit about the same hardness. And you watch how much it moves. So when it quits moving, it's getting pretty tight. So if you have to keep cutting it harder to make it move, then you know you're getting it really tight. Alright, that's pretty damn tight. Alright, so now this is all mounted pretty hard. And we took the stress off everything, so when you torque it down, it just holds it. It's not in any kind of a bind condition. So all the vibration these bikes put out, this shouldn't break. Now if this stuff is all under a load, when you tighten it down and ride the bike, after a few thousand miles, these mounts split, break, fall off. And everybody else thinks it's just crappy materials, but it's crappy put together is a problem. Now this was tight, I thought, now it's loose. So I got to deal with that. So I can go over there and tighten that down. So I'll hit that with a little zip gun from the other side. Hopefully I got room to get to it. Yep. Don't have access right now. Wrong angle. Where we at? Oh, jeez, I'm way off. I must have bent that when I was holding on to it. So you gotta guess how much it rotates as I'm zipping it. You try torquing by hand, you can't get them as tight as you can with a zip gun. Can't control the spin. Yep, I'm off. So you need a mirror behind you so you can see what you're doing. You get it close that time? Nope. Needs to go a little bit further. That's way too much. Yep. It's close though. Wonder if I can cheat on that a little bit. Oh, and this fell down. I'm way off. That's called a complete failure. That's got to stay up. That's got to be over there. Jeez. What a mess. Alright. Need some kind of a good idea where I'm at. Can't judge at all where I'm at. I can force it back. Clip's in totally the wrong spot and I can't stop it from moving. That is hard on the thumb. Forcing it. That actually is probably pretty close what we need. Yep. A little bit more. Yeah, just loosening that up. Damn it. Yeah. I think we have to live with it there. It used to be tight, now it's loose. Bend that around a little bit. These are nice and bendable, you put them where you want them. Alright, so I got a bunch of extra washers in the way. Okay, now this clamp here is for putting the spark plug wire up, like that. That's where it goes. That's what its job is for, right there. And this one goes up over here like that. Pretty slick, huh? Okay. Pull those out, because we gotta do some work on those. Okay, so we got the mount in there. So now we get the carburetor mounted. And we also get to put some oil in the primary. So I think we'll just drop down and do the primary cover right now. We don't know how much oil is even in here. I don't think there's any in it. I'm going to find out. Take a look. Now we set this up as being as a wet primary, not a dry one, so we have to go in here and put some oil in here. Usually only put about 3 or 4 ounces, probably no more than 6. These clutches aren't made to be wet, so you don't want to flood them with oil in there. We should check to make sure that's tight. Don't want that to fall out. Yeah, that's pretty tight. Okay. Appears to be pretty dry in there right now. That could be a problem. We need to get a little bit more lubricant in there. So it appears to be not much down in there. Now usually I put oil in it until it gets up to the second hump right there. The first hump's way back there. I like it going over that one and get up to almost up to this one. And that way when the clutch basket's back there and all the oil, it's flinging around all over the place, lubricating everything, but it's not flooding the clutch. So if you get up to the top of that, that's plenty of oil for it. Probably more than you need, but definitely would help. Now you can put ATF in there if you like. You can put some thick-ass transmission oil in there, but that's too thick. Or you can get some primary lube. So Sportster primary lube. That ought to be just about right for this bike. I have a bunch of Harley Davidson crap I picked up, some junk I bought, so we're going to use it up on this bike. Primary is not too critical on the oil as long as it's just lubricating the chain and the clutch basket, so it's not super critical. So we can use a lower grade oil like this and not worry about it too much. Plus he's probably going to be changing this thing in a few hundred miles, so you can put better oil in it later if he wants. Okay, right now it's just full right up to here. It's going back there. It's got a lot more than I thought it was going to hold. Yeah, this should be enough. Alright. It holds quite a bit. Where are we at right now? I got about half a quart in there right now. It's definitely a lot. It's up to the top. Not the top of the first one, but it's up to a little bit up into it. Now, eventually it's going to spray up there and collect up in that area and not help anything on the lube. The ring gear is in the oil right now a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more oil in here. Just a little bit more. Spreading back there a little bit. I think that's enough. It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. That's 16 ounces probably. Half a quart. That's a lot more than it should have thought it would hold. Looks a little thicker than it should be too, but that's what Harley put in the oil. So there's your first or your second hump there. So if you look way back in there, there's a clutch basket way up in there. There's a ring gear down in there. See how the ring gear is down in oil? There you go. So that's an oil way down in there. So that ring gear is going to fling it everywhere. Now this is going to collect up in here because, see, this is a hump, and it's going to, whatever goes up in there, it's going to collect up in there. So a lot of this that's back here is going to blow up here, and that's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there. So the ring gear has to be in the oil. As long as that ring gear is in the oil, it flings it around everywhere. It'll be lubed. Chain appears to be good up in there too. Oop, you can see it. Yep, get clearance on it. Alright, so that's enough for that. So that'll be good enough for now for initial application. We're going to be back in here again, so I'm not going to seal this up real heavy, because he will be back in here. Put together just a gasket on it. Now they do make a format material gasket now for these, which is sort of reusable. But after he does an oil change on this, it'll be pretty well set for a few thousand miles before he's back in here again, so you can put sealer on it after that. So that's all stuff you gotta go over with the customer when he picks the bike up, or he has to watch a video. Then he knows. But that oil seemed more like 80 weight oil instead of a nice thin oil like it should have been. Sportster oil is what it is, I guess. Anyway, it's good enough to get the motor broken, and then dump it. Put the real stuff in there. Okay, so now we got oil in here. It doesn't appear to have a leak under the bike yet, so that's a good sign. That means it's sealed up. So now we got most of the stuff is handled. We haven't adjusted this yet because we don't have the footboard over here yet. So I still got to adjust our shift linkage before we're done. Alright, so now I'm going to go on the other side of the bike. Do some work over there. So might as well move on to the transmission oil. So we've done the motor oil. Do the primary oil. We do the transmission oil. It needs oil too, you know. Okay, this one we're going to use our 85 140 tranny oil. It's not primary oil. This appears to be in the way. It's out of the way now. Camera's in the way though. Okay, now these here, it's old bikes. They don't have a level plug on them. So this is called a pig snout. Looks like a pig snout, I guess. I don't know. So these early bikes have a hump down here and there's no level plug right here. If you have a screw right here, it's a level plug. You pull that out, when the oil gets up to that level, you're full. We don't have that option. So on these old ones here, we have this real low filler, because the new ones, the filler's way up here. You fill it up until it gets to the bottom of that first thread down there. That's how much oil goes in it. So right now you can see it's got nothing in there, it's dry. So this should hold about half a quart of oil or a little more, probably a little more. Probably more in about 20 ounce area. So about 2/3 of a quart to 3/4 of a quart. A few ounces one way or the other makes no difference, as long as you got oil in it. So we're going to use a filler I just used up in my truck. Okay, so we got the 85 140. They make an 85 90, you could use that too, but the thicker oil is a little bit better. Gives you a little bit more protection. That's a full quart of oil, huh? It's way down here. You can see how much is in there, but not much. Yeah, it's a little bit thinner. We put a tray in the infirmary over there. It's a good thing because this is thick. Now if it comes out the top, it's probably too much. Now you also have to let it wait for a little bit because the oil has to go to the other side of the tranny, which will take a minute or so. Like right now it's getting kind of full on this side. Yep, it's just getting ready to overfill. And there, it's right up there right now. It was almost up the top thread and then kind of dropped back down again. It's going to the other side of the tranny. There's a couple holes in the bottom of the case there, where it goes across, transfers over. This is with the bike straight up and down too, like we got it. So right now we're almost level in there. See, it's soaking down in there. So it's slowly dropping down a little bit. It's transferring across. See, it's getting lower. It's already dropped another 1/4 of an inch already. See, it's getting lower and lower and lower in there. Okay, we'll go ahead and put some more oil in there. Is that out of focus? This time we'll put so much in. We almost overfilled it. That'll be a good amount. Now if the rear wheel was in the air, I would be spinning the tire right now and getting the gears all lubricated inside. It appears to be on the ground right now. But we can kick it, so we won't be doing that. Remember I took those spark plugs out over there? There's a reason I took those out. It kicks a lot easier with the spark plugs out. What you doing, Scooby? Scooby's coming over to help, see? Sneaking around the corner there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and kick this a little bit. That'll help spin some of the gears around. Alright. Hey Scooby! Scooby's back. What are you doing down there? You tired? Scooby, you getting tired? Yeah, Scooby's getting tired. Yeah. Yep, Scooby's getting tired down there. Yeah. He's looking for rats today. The rat got all his varmint food. It ate some of his treats. Damn nasty rat. Hey, don't knock that down, Scooby. Okay, see the oil valve dropped way back down again. We did that kicking. It's back down to where we started. And now we get to put some more oil in there. So how much we got in there now? I know we got over half of it in there. Yeah, it's way down to here. Almost 3/4 of it in there. Okay, put that in there. Somebody made a mess. Oh, that drain plug we fixed, or the oil unfixed. No leak today. That was over there on their, over here on their motor. That fitting down there was broken. It doesn't leak anymore. Amazing what happens when you fix the, take out the broken parts, huh? Okay, we're right up at the top. Okay, so you see how the oil levels almost up to the base of the thread there. You wiggle the bike a little bit like this, and you can tell where the oil level's at. It's right up there at the base of the thread. So do a couple more kicks here. And drop the oil level a little bit more again. Each time I do that, it sucks up the oil and drops it. It's going someplace. So I need just a little bit more in there. So some of it's sticking on top of those gear teeth, I'm sure, in there, and doing whatever it wants to do. So I'm going to put just a little bit more in there. That'll be a good amount. That's just about all of it, too. There's only about 4 ounces left in that container. It takes a lot to go up higher because we're not down here anymore. We're filling up the whole case. It should be up the bottom of the main shaft if you don't have this type cover. It should be just right to the very bottom of the main shaft in there. Is about where it should be. Okay, I think that's getting pretty close to what we need now. Settle back down again a little bit more. Time I took the camera to get up here, it dropped down another 1/4 inch. See how the oil is up to about what the main shaft is in there? About halfway up. So it's a pretty good level. It's not quite to the base of the thread, but it's pretty close to it. I'm going to give it one more shot of oil and call it done. See, it took just about the whole quart. I've had some bikes take only half, I have some take just about the whole thing like this one is. Yeah, we're about right here on the oil level, so it's taking most of it, that's for sure. Okay, we'll give it about that much more. That's enough. It's almost a full funnel, so it might be too much. Yeah, it's getting to be too much. Pull that out. So you gotta let it soak across. It's up to the height of the plug there. You know, you start pulling out. So you can see how it's levels up there a little ways right now. A couple kicks. And drop the level down. Back to where we started. Yep. It's eating it up. It keeps swallowing up the oil we put in it. Right, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. I think we got enough in there. This doesn't have no seal on here, just metal on metal. If you put an O-ring on there like they did, it doesn't really tighten up. The plug can fall out down the road after the rubber settles. So that's how I don't like them like that. See, we're tightening against rubber, not metal. Should be metal on metal. So it's not going to ever be fully tight. Now if you had a chamfer on that top thread right here, you would have room for that O-ring, but this thing does not have room for an O-ring. So you can either leave the O-ring in there and hope the plug stays tight and not leak, or you can make it metal on metal and it probably won't leak anyway. If it does, it might have a little whisk of might have a damp area in here. We got dirt collects, but it's not really wet, one of those deals. So right now there's a gap between here and here. So let's see how much of a gap we get. I'm going to get my big screwdriver bit. So your big snap-on screwdriver bit. Got a 1/2 inch breaker bar. Should allow you to put good torque on it. Pretty tight. And yep, my finger is not, it is not metal on metal. It is metal on, it's got rubber in there. So every now and then you have to retorque it if you leave it like that. So I'll tell them to watch it, because if it comes loose, it'll fall out. You shouldn't be putting Loctite on your drain plugs either, so if you want to help me out by telling me that, don't bother. You don't want to be doing that. Alright, so now we get all our oils in here. We only got 2 quarts of oil in the motor so far total. And we still don't have any oil pressure yet. See, I've been kicking and no oil's coming out. There's no oil coming out of this hole right here yet. And the battery is on right now. The light is on the battery, but it's not turned on. We have to hook up our ground wire over here to make the light come on. Okay, we got power. Something happened to my other wire. There we go. Fell down, I guess. Okay, we got our idiot light on up there. So it's right up in here. Let's see if we give it a few cranks like we did yesterday and see if the light will go up. This gives me a good workout. Nope. I did think something I shouldn't have done. I didn't put spark plugs over there when I was kicking it. That's bad. So it makes the coil arc internally. Alright, we still got no oil pressure yet, so oh well. Okay, I'm gonna get this cleaned up and we'll be back.